Hi, thank you, everybody. My name is Alessandro Chianini. I'm the CEO and founder of Fortress Identity. So this is our third Finovate. We'd like to thank Finovate for bringing us back. You know, they always tell us when we come up here we have to have new ideas, and since we come out with new ideas pretty much every month, we have about 3 announcements to make. So back 3 years ago, I got stuck at Chicago International Airport, and I joined the airport free Wi-Fi. It really wasn't an airport free Wi-Fi. It was a hacker's Wi-Fi. And they took all my cookies and started going through all my accounts and grabbing passwords and trying to charge things. And by the time I landed off my 10-hour flight, I had quite a few things to deal with. But the hardest thing to deal with was changing about 30 passwords and coming up with a new protocol for my passwords. So with that, as an engineer, I said there's got to be a way to solve this, and biometrics was that way. So what I did is I took a look at facial recognition, fingerprint, voice biometrics, and decided that voice was the way to go, at that time. About a year later, I decided to go to all the biometrics. So what we do today, fast forward 3 years, is we support 6 different biometric modalities. What we do on top of that is we created a layer to tell the customer which modality works best. So we have advanced facial recognition, voice recognition, and we identified 3 weaknesses in the marketplace in terms of biometrics. Number 1, it was difficult to implement. So you had very difficult code. How do you implement it? Where do you store the data? So we simplified the implementation of biometrics. Number 2, it wasn't omni-channel. If I registered my voice in the data center and it didn't work on mobile, it didn't work on the web, so we fixed that as well. And number 3, you had to deal with multiple vendors to have all these different biometrics. So that's why we adopted all the biometrics and brought them under all one umbrella. So where we are today, we'd like to make 3 big announcements. Number 1, we're issuing the concept of compound biometrics. As you saw at the latest hacking event, Apple's Face ID was hacked in 120 seconds with a simple mask. So where do we think this is relevant? We want to provide 2 or more biometrics to authenticate a person securely, and that's where we come up with the concept of compound biometrics. How do we serve that in technology? We do something on our website called the Biometric Authenticator. What that does is provide a very simple tool to provide compound biometric approach for identification, either on the web or on a mobile device, or even at the server with Active Directory and Citrix. So our second big announcement is that Biometric Authenticator. You can go to the website today. You can actually try registering your voice for free. You can try the code for 30 days, and then you can come contact us and say, this is how we want to identify and use biometrics. But our most exciting announcement today is with our partner, Muxi. Muxi Pay is an established POS provider with over 3 million devices installed all around Latin America. And what we're going to show you today, and actually I wanted to thank Jessica from MasterCard for showing us all this great new technology that's coming out. What we're going to show you today is technology that's already here, and it's how to pay without a credit card and without a mobile device. And with that, we're going to introduce Muxi Pay.
Oh, hi, my name is Pedro Brazil. I'm the CPO of Muxi. We have 20 years of history innovating in the payment industry. 15 years ago, we developed what we call the POS Web. That's sort of a browser that enables you to run the same application regardless of the manufacturer you use in your POS terminal. For those of you in the acquiring business, you understand how powerful it is. And after that, we developed the Muxi Play solution. That's a device management system that allows you from one single application to control all devices you have in the field, regardless, again, of the manufacturer they're using. With a click of a button, you're able to update 2 million devices in a single day without touching those terminals.
Yeah, so some of the same challenges that they face is they had multiple devices, multiple vendors, and they distributed a software to be able to upload all those devices automatically. So how do you take that into the next future generation of automatic checkout and talk about?
Yes, well, our next step is we're bringing to the US Muxi Pay Gateway. We have one application that, again, runs in all devices, regardless of the manufacturer, and we add to that the card-non-present solutions. So you have wallet, you have tokenization, we have, you name it, everything you need. But something we are really concerned about is how we would be able to provide our merchants the most seamless application we can. So we need to add features for that, and one piece of the puzzle we have to figure out how to do was authentication. And that's when Visa came along and introduced you guys for us to be able to authenticate our user in the most seamless way.
Is a perfect use case for the compound biometric approach. And what we're going to show today with Stuart is Stuart's going to go ahead and check out some of his fruit that he bought today. Go ahead, Stuart. It's got a banana. It's got an orange. If you put the orange and the apple together, it kind of looks like the MasterCard logo. Okay, so what Stuart's going to do is he's going to go and identify himself through the facial recognition. It already knows that it's Stuart, it's a registered user, and now he's going to authenticate himself.
And they already saw my face? No. My name is Stuart Rudolph.
So in the checkout, the way that this would work is inside the terminal or inside of the checkout lane, you would actually get an identification of the facial recognition, and as soon as you speak your phrase, you will already have paid using the tokenization and using your card on file.
Yes, one important thing to mention is that with the Fortress Identity solution, we are able to provide the same experience regardless of the environment you are in. So with an in-store application, we can use the facial recognition solution. If they move to an e-commerce environment, we can use the voice recognition also with the facial recognition. And also on the phone, we can use their voice to enable them to access the token that has the information of their credit card and process the payment without any further need of information or swipe the card or tap the card even though. So.
Right, and this is also applicable in e-commerce transactions as well. So it's not only for the checkout at a retail store, but it could also work for an e-commerce transaction. That can happen over a mobile device. This same application that you see on the web today can happen just as easily on a mobile device, so multiple different checkout capabilities.
Yes, correct. And the secure remote commerce is something that we can enable with the solution combining our technologies.
Okay. With that, we'd like to thank you, and everybody come by our booth and take a look at what we're doing with advanced authentication in terms of checkout, accessing a doorway. There's a lot of different applications. We're also launching with one of the most unique digital banks out of Puerto Rico, and we can tell you a little bit about that and how we can do AML KYC using this type of biometric technology as well. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.